purport 8, very famous verse. And I will just start now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chadushlitam Dharma Samstapanartaya Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium. Purport. Purport is quite long, so I will read part by part and comment. And we have probably half an hour because 10 minutes is almost gone. According to Bhagavad Gita, a sadhu, holy man, is a man in Krishna consciousness. A person may appear to be irreligious, but if he has the qualifications of Krishna consciousness wholly and fully, he is to be understood to be a sadhu. And dushkritam applies to those who do not care for Krishna consciousness. Such miscreants or dushkritam are described as foolish and the lowest of mankind, even though they may be decorated with mundane education, whereas a person who is 100% engaged in Krishna consciousness is accepted as a sadhu, even though such a person may be neither learned nor well cultured. As far as the atheistic are concerned, it is not necessary for the Supreme Lord to appear as he is to destroy them, as he did with the demons Ravana and Kamsa. The Lord has many agents who are quite competent to vanquish demons, but the Lord especially descends to appease his unalloyed devotees, who are always harassed by the demoniac. The demon harasses the devotee even though the latter may happen to be his kin. Kin means relative. Although Prahlad Maharaj was the son of Hiranyakashipu, he was nonetheless persecuted by his father. Although Devaki, the mother of Krishna, was the sister of Kamsa, she and her husband Vasudeva were persecuted only because Krishna was to be born of them. So Lord Krishna primarily appeared primarily to deliver Devaki rather than kill Kamsa, but both were performed simultaneously. Therefore, it is said here that to deliver the devotee and vanquish the demon miscreants, the Lord appears in different incarnations. So the rest of the purport I will read it later and comment. And first I want to focus on this first paragraph. So here the word sadhu is mentioned, and we have just had 2 days ago the departure of, or 3 days ago, the departure of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and many devotees have expressed their appreciation and sorrow because of his departure. And one thing that Mahatma Prabhu mentioned this morning, we were listening to his tribute to Bhakti Charu Maharaj, that Bhakti Charu Maharaj wanted to become a sadhu. This is why he was looking for a guru. And usually Western devotees don't have this idea when they join. We have different ideas why we are joining. Maybe we want to get free from suffering, or we want to find about the truth, or we are just distressed in so many ways. We are looking for some answers. But he distinctly wanted to become a sadhu. And in his memory, I was listening the last couple of days, his memories about his life and about Srila Prabhupada. And he said that in the beginning, his understanding was more of the spiritual life, more impersonal. But then when he read the Nectar of Devotion, he actually was very attracted, and he understood that this is what he wants. So he was an amazing person. I had a privilege to meet him. He came once, instead of Harikesh Swami, he was sent by Harikesh Swami to Serbia, to Belgrade. And so in the beginning, we were disappointed because we see Harikesh Swami once a year, maximum twice a year, but mainly once a year, and now he has cancelled his visit. So we were so disappointed, and most of us were his disciples. I think at that time, actually, we didn't have more, it was in the 80s, we didn't have more gurus in Europe. Maybe there were some who were visiting, but not Sachinandan Swami, not Krishna Kshetra Maharaj, not Sukhotra Swami. So I think Harikesh Swami was the only guru, or one of the very few that visited. So we were disappointed, and then I went to the airport and I recognized him. He was dressed like a rich man's son, tourist. Very nice dress, but not in a devotional clothes. Because Yugoslavia was like socialist or like communist or socialist country. And so he came in the ordinary clothes, and I picked him up and took him to the temple. It was in a village near Belgrade. And he gave nice classes. He spoke from the works of Goswamis, some stories about Krishna, and we tried to prepare nice prasadam for him. And we took him on a ride around Belgrade with a car. So he said that it looks like Hong Kong. By the end of his visit, we were so pleased that he came. He somehow, he charmed the devotees. He inspired and pleased the devotees, and he became attractive for devotees by his preaching, by his kindness, by his gentlemanly disposition. So I just took opportunity when I saw the word Sadhu here to speak about him, because he was a real Sadhu, and he grew up also in a quite God-conscious environment. He actually, most of the stories that he knows from the Shastra and from, especially from Mahabharata, he has heard in his childhood from his grandmother. This is what Jadvaita Swami said in his tribute. And I have watched these final rites yesterday. Maybe some of you have watched the final rites or rituals where devotees were circumambulating, going around his body. And it's amazing. There was, camera focused on his face. It's amazing how much he looked like Srila Prabhupada when he left his body. I believe that he was thinking of Srila Prabhupada when he left his body. He looked so much like Srila Prabhupada. So, some of the tributes were so emotional, like Jadvaita Swami was almost crying. I have never seen him like this. He's always like a scholar and very cool and, not showing much emotion. But here he was obviously very hurt. He was pained that Maharaj left. He was in pain and he barely held his tears. And then Giriraj Maharaj was also quite emotional. Although it was painful to see, but at the same time, for us, it's very inspiring to see how much these Srila Prabhupada's disciples love each other and appreciate each other. So, yes, he was a sadhu, and everybody said he was a gentleman. He was kind to everyone, and I also experienced this. Also in emails, he would always reply my emails, although I'm just insignificant, member. But he would reply my emails in a very personal way and addressing my points. And I never waited more than 1 day or 2 days, although he has tons of emails, but he just replied to my emails. And his visit was wonderful. We were so inspired by his visit. So now all these devotees who are in a close circle here in RADHADESH, I'm in RADHADESH at the moment, and in RADHADESH, Kadamba Maharaj is staying for some time, and he was giving classes. He gave class about Bhaktichar Maharaj, and he was speaking about the inner circle of disciples like Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Upendra, Bhaktichar Maharaj, Bhavananda, Brahmananda. So somehow, as very young, Bhaktichara Maharaj entered that circle and became actually a secretary for Srila Prabhupada's affairs in India. And he got 2 initiations at once, and after 6 months he got sannyas. And devotees say he was like Prabhupada's ideal son, that he wanted to have such a son. So he also translated in Bengali and in the Hindi, translated. So these devotees that were in inner circle of Srila Prabhupada, they actually are not ordinary souls, and they are not devotees from this life. They have been probably with Srila Prabhupada in past lives, and I believe they are also with him now wherever he is preaching. I wrote to Bhaktitirtha Swami before he left his body that Ramakrishna Maharaj left his body before Bhaktitirtha Maharaj, and I said, I had this feeling that Ramakrishna Maharaj and yourself, you will go where Prabhupada is and help him in preaching in whichever universe he is staying at the moment. And he wrote back, he said, whatever Prabhupada wants, I will do. So, but I feel that these great souls are actually following Srila Prabhupada and helping him in preaching in other planets, also, in other universes, whatever. So, I believe that Bhaktichara Maharaj also has went because he had so much affection for Srila Prabhupada. And I have heard a lot of exchange that he had with Srila Prabhupada. Also, when Srila Prabhupada chastised him that he didn't listen to follow his instructions properly, and just one instance which shows how Bhaktichara Maharaj's relationship with Srila Prabhupada was not based on fear at all, or awe and reverence. It was spontaneous love. So Srila Prabhupada once wanted orange juice, and there was no oranges in the temple, and there was no oranges in the nearby shop. So he had to go to the market, and it would take 15 minutes, 20 minutes to go and buy. And so finally, when he got oranges, came back, Srila Prabhupada was angry why he took so much time to make him orange juice. And so when he entered, Srila Prabhupada was angry, and he said, I don't want it now. But then Bhaktichara Maharaj wouldn't give up. He just stayed there. He didn't leave. He told him to get out. Even he told him, get out, something, go away. But he would stay. And somehow Srila Prabhupada became softer and he accepted the juice. And even Srila Prabhupada apologized. He said, oh, you know, when you become old, you become short-tempered. And he apologized. So I thought it was just a pastime between two of them. But it's wonderful that Bhaktichara Maharaj didn't get scared, didn't get upset, didn't leave. He just had so much love and wanted to please Srila Prabhupada that he just stayed there, and he wanted to give him juice, and eventually Srila Prabhupada took the orange juice from him. And he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada also many times, and there was some also exchanges and pastimes in relation to this. But I want to continue with our purport. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishna Das Kaviraj, the following verses, Madhya Lila, chapter 20, text 263 and 264, summarize these principles of incarnation. So Krishna is appearing, and his representatives appearing, and the assistants of his representatives also appearing to help them in the mission. Okay, Srishti Hetu Ye Murti Prapanche Avatare, Se Ishvara Murti Avatara Namadhare, Mayatita Paravyome Sabara Avastana, Vishwe Avatari Dhare Avatara Nama. The avatar or incarnation of Godhead descends from the kingdom of God for material manifestation. And the particular form of the personality of Godhead who so descends is called an incarnation or avatar. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume the name avatar. Avatar means one who descends. There are various kinds of avatars, such as Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Lila avatars, Shakyavesha avatars, Manvantara avatars, and Yuga avatars, all appearing on schedule all over the universe. But Lord Krishna is the primeval Lord, the fountainhead of all avatars. Lord Shri Krishna descends for the specific purpose of mitigating the anxieties of the pure devotees who are very anxious to see him in his original Vrindavan pastimes. Therefore, the prime purpose of the Krishna avatar is to satisfy his unalloyed devotees. So, although there are two purposes, paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya chadushkritam, to kill demoniac, to kill the miscreants, and to protect devotees, the protection of devotees and satisfaction of his pure devotees is the prime purpose or prime reason for the descent of the Lord or his incarnations. And we have heard from the Krishna book that if we qualify in this life by our devotional service, by our devotion, by our purification, if we qualify to join Krishna, then we are going for the final training in the universe where Krishna has his pastimes, like Bhauma Vrindavan, Vrindavan manifested as a replica in the material world, and we are going for the final training, and then after that we can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So therefore the word training is so important that if we take this life as training, then nothing can surprise us, nothing can shock us, nothing can discourage us from continuing to serve enthusiastically with determination and with gratitude. Because we know that we are on training and we will get the final training when we get birth in the house of devotees as a child of a gopi. If we get human form, then we'll get born there and we will get final training, and then we will be ready to go back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan. The Lord says that he incarnates himself in every millennium. This indicates that he incarnates also in the age of Kali. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, the incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy names, and spread Krishna consciousness throughout India. He predicted that this culture of Sankirtan would be broadcast all over the world, from town to town and village to village. Lord Chaitanya, as the incarnation of Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is described secretly, but not directly, in the confidential parts of the revealed scriptures, such as the Upanishads, Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam. The devotees of Lord Krishna are very much attracted by the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. This avatar of the Lord does not kill the miscreants, but delivers them by his causeless mercy. Now there is external reasons and internal reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, and or confidential reasons. And apart from the Sankirtan mission, the reasons for his appearance is that he wanted to taste the nectar of rasa that Srimati Radharani experiences in serving him and loving him. And as Lord Chaitanya, he appeared as Lord Chaitanya to actually taste that love also. And he was also spreading the holy name. Very significant for us is this last sentence where it is said that he doesn't kill the miscreants but delivers them by his causeless mercy. Now we see that sometimes devotees are attacked, and in one lecture Srila Prabhupada says that you will soon see the power of the Sankirtan movement, and if needed to fight, devotees can also fight. And we have examples of devotees who are fighting in Hanumanji. Hanuman, he was fighting for Lord Rama, and Arjuna was fighting also under the instruction of Lord Krishna. So if needed, devotees can fight, but mainly devotees in Kali Yuga are in the mood of delivering people and not killing them. but delivering them especially from their demoniac mentality. I want to mention some of my favorite chapters in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chapter 4 of Adi Lila and chapter 20 of Antya Lila. They describe actually the mood of Srimati Radharani, which is the mood of unalloyed, unconditional love for Krishna. And this mood is described concisely in the 8th verse of Shikshashtaka, Ashlishyava Padaratam Pinashtumam, Adarshanam Parmanchatam Karotuva, Yata Tata Na Vidadatuvam Pato, Matprana Natas Tusa Eva Napraha. Whatever you do, my Lord, I always remain dedicated to you. If you embrace me, if you reject me, if you trample on me, whatever you do, you will always be my worship of the Lord, life after life. And also in the Shikshashtaka, it is said that Lord Chaitanya says that I don't want wealth, I don't want followers, and I don't want association of beautiful women. I only want your devotional service, birth after birth. So, pure devotee, as Lord Chaitanya says, doesn't even want liberation, doesn't want even to get a spiritual body, but he just wants to serve Krishna again and again and to have the association of Krishna's devotees. So we are very fortunate to be part of this Krishna consciousness movement, and we see that amazing great souls have been born in this movement or joined this movement, and then they're spreading to, they're helping to spread this movement and to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas. And this morning, Mahatma Prabhu has given a wonderful class about what is in the heart of Bhakti Charu Swami and what was his desire. And he said that the desire of Bhakti Charu Swami was that Srila Prabhupada becomes put more in the center and more glorified and more respected in ISKCON. And he was mentioning how there are disciples who do not even listen to Srila Prabhupada's classes, and okay, maybe they read some books sometimes, but not always. So Srila Prabhupada is, he didn't undermine the importance of Diksha and Diksha gurus, but he also stressed that our main Shiksha guru is Srila Prabhupada, and that relationship with him is, for us, the most important relationship, because he has also created his disciples who became gurus. So we owe so much to Srila Prabhupada. And Krishna says here that he appears, but he also sends his representatives. He sends his representatives sadhus, and Srila Prabhupada is such sadhu. And he has trained his disciples, and one of his bona fide representatives was Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And there are many devotees who are bona fide representatives of Srila Prabhupada, but Mahatma Prabhu said we need to put Srila Prabhupada more in the center. And I have been working with Vanipedia also, where Vanipedia is exclusively, it's a website, it's online encyclopedia of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and exclusively is dedicated to promoting Srila Prabhupada's teachings, Srila Prabhupada's video, audio, photos, teachings presented in a systematic way. And for us, this message that Srila Prabhupada has given and his teachings are of the utmost importance, and we want to take advantage of this. Devotees are working hard to create Vanipedia and Vedabase, and Srila Prabhupada has worked so hard he didn't sleep so that he can translate his books or the Shastras for us, so that we have this guidance, spiritual guidance. So thank you very much for listening. This is all I wanted to say for today. And now we have, I think, about 5 minutes for questions. If you have any questions in relation to this topic or any other topic in relation to Krishna consciousness. Remaining time, 7 minutes. So we have 7 minutes for questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Paramatma Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
The first goes is Krishna comes from millennium to millennium. This meantime, every 1,000 years, Krishna comes, yeah?
I'm not sure how much is millennium, if it's 1,000 years, but this is 1,000 years of Rama, I believe. Yeah, you can, everybody can unmute your microphones if you want to comment, so you can also comment. If I say something wrong regarding the technical details, I think it's 1,000 years of Brahma, not 1,000 years, our 1,000 years. This is much longer, much longer.
No, normally Krishna was here 5,000 years ago. Now he is after 5,000 again coming. Between he not coming.
So Krishna is always present in one way or the other, but
No,
sometimes.
I mean, so really. We know 5,000 years come Krishna, and then after 5,000 comes Lord Chaitanya, who Krishna self is, yeah. So between
what is your question?
Krishna say here come millennium after millennium, yeah. So what is 1 millennium? Normally this is 1,000 years.
I think we have to look up. I really cannot say right now. We have to look up in Prabhupada's books where it is explained how much it is. Maybe in the introduction of the Gita, this is described, I think. Yeah, in more detail. So, but I don't know if we have 4 minutes. I can take a look and then post it on this Bhagavad Gita lectures, our WhatsApp group. I can take a look and post it for you later.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any other question? Okay, if there is no question, I just want to say that here in RADHADESH, we are somehow, there is a disciple called Ramananda Raya, or Ramananda Roy, disciple of Bhakti Charu Swami, who has chosen the lecture of Mahatma Prabhu for this morning's Bhagavatam class, and actually tribute to Mahatma Prabhu, which was 2 hours, but 1 hour was a tribute, 1 hour was questions. And also he has sponsored a feast, I think, for this evening, and the devotees are having prasadam now. And there was a program dedicated also to Bhakti Charu Maharaj from 5 to 7, and now here is 7:37. So, and devotees are, I hear from different devotees that they're listening to the memories, and I myself, I was listening to the memories that Bhakti Charu Maharaj was he was recorded talking about memories of Srila Prabhupada, the Bhaktivedanta manner. He has written actually a book, but I don't know if it's published or it will be published after his departure. He said this book will be called My Lord and Master, and this will be a book about Srila Prabhupada, about his memories and his experiences with Srila Prabhupada. So this is something that may be interesting. And Gadabha Maharaj is at the moment here. He's giving 2 classes per week, I think. And his room in the college, his own room in the college, so he's staying there, sometimes going for a walk. And he gives inspiring classes, inspiring kirtans. And we have international devotees here, devotees from all over the world are serving here. On the 29th, there will be a Kirtan course here. Devotees will learn Vedanga, harmonium, kartals, and the history of Kirtan. So this is nice. And as you know, there is a castle here. People get guided tours. There is a restaurant and cafeteria without coffee. We just call it cafeteria. Restaurant, very nice restaurant. They have amazing ice cream. And there is a guest house, retreat center where yoga groups are coming, and they also get prasadam. They get to meet devotees. Sometimes they visit the temple. There is cows. Also, they have I think five or seven cows. And there is some youth programs. I had a program with children on Sunday also. So many wonderful things are happening here, and it's a very vibrant and devotional community. So thank you very much for listening. I think we are in the last minute, and or one, not yet last minute. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish you all the best. And you can also, if you have any questions, you can always write me. You have my WhatsApp, or if you think I can do anything for all of you or for any of you, then you're welcome to assist you. So thank you very much, and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Dandavad.